Egypt's new president vows to correct mistakes of the past. With more on what the former military chief Abdeh Fattah el-Sisi is facing, let's join Jonathan Schanzer. He is with the Foundation for Defense of Democracy. He joins us from Washington. Jonathan, this is an incredibly fractured country. El-Sisi has an immense job to do, but what would be first on the agenda?
Well, I think there are probably two things. One is to perhaps get the security situation under control. There's been an insurgency that's been on the rise. It started in the Sinai Peninsula and it has now spread into parts of mainland Egypt itself. This is a group called Ansar Beit al-Maqdis, which is loosely aligned with al-Qaeda. It's got grievances now that stem from the fall of the Muslim Brotherhood, but now I think have been exacerbated as a result of the Egyptian military's heavy-handed tactics. And so it will be, I think, incredibly important for President Sisi to figure out how to bring all of this under control without continuing to exacerbate the problem with those same heavy-handed tactics. The other thing that he's going to have to really think very carefully about is how to get that economy back on track. He's very much beholden right now to a number of Gulf Arab states that are basically plying him with cash, but this underlies a problem that there are really no sound economic principles behind the trajectory that Egypt has been on. Both of these things, I think, will be important in the days to come.
Well, the economy is one of the reasons people were protesting in the first place, because they felt there was this huge gap between the rich and the poor and that they weren't getting their fair deal, so to say. So tourism, obviously, was one way that Egypt made some money. I'm sure that has taken a big hit with everything that has gone on. With the economy, which direction can he go to sort of build this back up?
Well, look, they need to get back to basic principles. I mean, tourism, as you noted, was a huge component of this, and that's taken a hit from this Sinai jihadist group. I mean, a lot of the tourism was going into the Sinai for people taking beach vacations. They're now afraid to go because of the terrorist activity. Going to the pyramids, for example, in a place where there have been multiple revolutions that have taken place over these last couple of years, it's made people nervous to go to the pyramids. So that's going to have to be part of this. But then on top of that, there has been a reluctance on the part of the Egyptians to go to the IMF, to go to the World Bank, to get those bridge loans, to get the sorts of sort of programs in place that will ensure that Egypt starts to pull itself out based on sound economic principles, not just on these large injections of cash coming from when it was Qatar, when it was under the Muslim Brotherhood rule, and now it's coming from places like Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. Look, it's wonderful. These are gifts to think about what it means for the Egyptians that they be completely beholden to foreign powers. That's really not the way to get their independence back after fighting for these many years to shed themselves of dictatorial power.
Is el-Sisi the man to do it? We know that they had elections and they had elected in a democratic fashion Morsi, then he was ousted. Is el-Sisi the right man for this job?
Look, it remains to be seen. I mean, this is a man who's obviously a military man by background. He has taken on some dictatorial tones, if you will. There's a lot of concern about human rights and democratic principles under his rule. I think people are taking a wait-and-see approach, and there's very good reason to be concerned. But, look, the question that we always have is whether people like Sisi or even Islamists, whether they have the political background or the economic background to get a country like Egypt on track. It could be that we've gone from one extreme to another when we really should have been looking for competent bureaucrats who could guide Egypt out of this mess.
All right, we do have to leave it there. We have Jonathan Schanzer joining us from Washington. Thank you.
Pleasure.